Hey guys, it's Jenny here. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little bit since I've uploaded my last video. Thanks for your patience and understanding as I was out of town, but I am back now with another Draw With Me video. I got this idea to create a sticker pack containing a bunch of random items that I feel are part of my personality or are interests that I'm into. I start off by sketching out some ideas in my sketchbook. After doing a little bit of brainstorming, jotting down ideas, drawing out some sticker designs that I use and others that I'm gonna scrap for this particular illustration, I hopped on over to Procreate, created my canvas, adjusted that DPI so it's not so blurry. Shout out to my friend Jazz Maris for suggesting I tweak with my DPI. I think it helped a lot with the final results here. So like always, when I start off with my sketches, I go in and just get a very general idea of what I'm doing. I'm using like an airbrush to just capture shapes. I'm not too caught up on getting the lines nice and crisp until I move into the line art phase, which is what I'm doing right now. I've mentioned this many times in previous videos, but strawberries are probably my favorite fruit. I absolutely love the aesthetic. I wanted to include that as well as a little strawberry flower. I also love sushi, and I included a nigiri and an actual sushi roll in this sticker pack. I love sushi. I think when I was back home in Florida, I had sushi pretty much once every week. And I was there for like 2.5 weeks. I had the most sushi I had in my whole life. It was kind of insane. I could eat it, I think, every day. It's just fish and rice, and I tend to eat a lot of rice anyways, so it was a nice little treat, I'll say that. I'm working on this little mason jar with a candle inside of it, and I wanted to add fireflies around just because I thought it gave a nice little touch. If you guys saw the last post I made on my channel, I talked very briefly about how I was in Florida celebrating my reception. The theme for it was rustic romance, so there was a lot of jars, a lot of wood pieces, so that was kind of my inspo for that jar illustration. I do really enjoy nature, and I'm big into crystals, metaphysical stuff, so I had to include some crystals. I love drawing sparkles as gap fillers, so I had to include that, as well as some spacey stuff. Next up, I'm working on this soju bottle, which was inspired also by my Viet culture. We're kind of known to enjoy partying and drinking and having a good time overall, so I wanted to create my own version of the famous soju brand. So on the bottle I wrote down a little drinking cheers that we do in our culture, where you basically count to 3 in Viet and then you say yo at the end. So that was the inspo for this design. Also, very random, but talking about soju, the first ever all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue place opened up here in El Paso a few weeks ago. Actually, the grand opening was the Saturday that I was flying back home, and that's a very big deal for me because coming from Orlando, where we have so many hot pot spots, all-you-can-eat places, I really miss that about home. I just really like food a lot, so I was on the hunt for Korean barbecue here in El Paso, but there wasn't any all-you-can-eat. There were places where you could buy bulgogi meat or short ribs, but you have to pay for the price of the dish rather than trying a little bit of everything. So when I found out that this spot opened up, I was so hyped to try it out. It's apparently a chain that originated from California, so it's really cool that they're starting to bring that over here in El Paso. I think it's just a matter of time until this city catches up with all the cool Asian foodie places, and maybe one day soon there'll be dim sum here for me to eat, which was a very big part of my childhood growing up, going to get dim sum on Sundays with the family. Sitting at a table with a lazy Susan that you can spin around so everyone can access the dish without having to get up or hand it to somebody. It's been a while since I've drawn this much. I kind of took a bit of a break when I was back home. I wasn't trying to. I brought my iPad and had the intent on working on pieces, but I kind of just decided to focus more on spending time with my family and taking a break, because I think I was starting to get a little burnt out again with art, which tends to happen when I am locked in. So this piece did take me a while to work on, but I had a lot of fun drawing a bunch of random little items rather than working on like one cohesive piece. And here is that other sushi roll I mentioned earlier. Originally, I was going to make it a salmon roll, but since the nigiri was shrimp and it has kind of a similar color to salmon, I decided to opt out and take a different approach for this roll. It's tuna. That's basically what it is. Wanted to draw a little plumb bob. I always think of Sims when I hear that word. I spent so many hours back in high school putting into Sims 3, and I spent a lot more in Sims 4, with mods of course. Next up, I'm working on a Tamagotchi inspired device. I wanted to do something a little bit different, so I decided to make it a star shape and then to include a shooting star inside of it. Kind of keeping in tune with some of the space stuff I got going on this illustration. And of course, it's time to start coloring. I did want to render this piece, so I'm starting off pretty much in the same manner in which I was drawing this pack. Gonna start off with the strawberries. I'm adding in colors for the flower, moving on to the shrimp nigiri. I'm doing a tiny bit of rendering for the flame by blurring out the colors together. Man, you can just tell how tired I look. It took me some time to get adjusted to the 2-hour time change in Florida, and then of course coming back was a nice little refresh because I gained 2 hours rather than lose it. So the gems on this illustration, I did take some more time to render it because I did kind of want to give it the feeling that it's shining and it's got some dimension and shadows to it. It was a little hard for me at first to figure out how I wanted to color the shot glass and the little alcohol drip coming out of the soju bottle. This is the evil eye illustration that I sketched, and now I'm moving on to the pendulum. I wanted to include a little variety of colors in this illustration and try to find colors that complemented each other, and also added a variety because I do tend to use a lot of pinks and purples and pastels because I really like the way it looks. I am a soft girl at the end of the day, which I guess was kind of the inspo for this eyeshadow palette, was like cute colors and neutrals, which is kind of what I tend to use anyway when I'm doing my makeup. I'm adding some glitter to it. I don't know, this palette reminds me a lot of what like a Too Faced palette would be like. I don't know if there are any makeup girlies or peeps out there, but the one Too Faced palette I own smells like chocolate, and it is so pretty. I was so tempted to make this bow pink, but again, I wanted to give a variety of colors. And of course, anyone who knows me knows that I love my doggo Bonsai, so I have to include him in this as a little squishmallow. So I'm currently working on coloring and doing a little bit of rendering at this point for the tuna roll. Salmon's my favorite fish, but again, I wanted to add a little bit of interest to the piece and use different colors, which is why I opted for tuna, because it's red. Next up is the paintbrush, which I have all these canvases lying around. I really need to push myself to use it. It is a little bit daunting because I don't really paint much. It's not really my medium of choice, but when I am on my Instagram feed and I see people coming up with like amazing paintings, such as my friend Jasmira's, I really want to paint, and I know that it's gonna suck before it gets good, and I also just have to enjoy it and not expect anything because that's part of the artistic process. But yeah, really need to make time to use other mediums besides digital art. I'm thinking about taking a break from it and drawing solely in my sketchbook for like a week, maybe recording that process and also recording myself using acrylics for like a month straight or something crazy like that. I don't know. It's just ideas I'm throwing out. So right now I am rendering these bubbles. I'm also coloring some of the line art for certain illustrations that I feel just need a little bit of different type of color than the main line art color, which is like a darker purple. I know I've been gone for a month. I hope you guys have been doing good. And thank you for bearing with me as I worked on this illustration and editing, which takes so much time. Oh my gosh, the amount of footage that one records to edit like a 15-20 minute video at most is it's a lot of work. So I'm adding in my shadows to my illustrations. It was a lot of fun making this eyeshadow palette. I might need to work on an illustration of just makeup products because there was a point in my life where I was obsessed with makeup. I don't really do it too much now just because I'm at home most of the times, but I do like to doll myself up every now and then. So I don't know, maybe that's something I can work on in the future, creating a fictitious makeup line. So for the shading, I decided to do something a little different. Instead of going in with blocks of color like cell shading, I'm using the same brush that I did for my line art just to give it a little bit of texture. And I don't know, there's something about the grittiness of this brush I really like, so I felt for this illustration it just made more sense for me to use that rather than blocking in my shadows, which is what I normally do, because that also saves me a lot more time than going in and manually doing it like this. But I do like the way it came out overall. I'm adding in some highlights now. I'm actually nearing the end of this illustration. It was a lot of fun. Took me some time, a lot of time. Definitely some things I could have done different. That is the story of my life when I work on pieces all the time, but it is a learning process. I enjoyed it though. And I posted some of my work in progress pics over on my threads, and there was a supporter, a follower, somebody I also follow, that expressed interest in wanting to buy this if I made it into a sticker pack. So I don't know, maybe in the future this can actually be something I sell. I like stickers myself, so I wonder if there are any of you guys out there that would also be interested in buying this as a pack. But yeah, just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me sketch, work on the line art, color, and render this sticker pack illustration. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for bearing with me as I worked on editing this video. And I'm going to be active again. I do hope you guys stick around for my next video, and of course, I will be working on my webtoon series again, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, here's the final product, you guys. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys soon. Take care, y'all. Bye!